Good evening. We're going to convene the Sacramento County Planning Commission meeting for Monday, November 3rd. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Commissioner Conklin?
Here.
Devlin?
Here.
Verga?
Here.
And with those members present, we do have a quorum, and let the record show that Commissioner Borja and Corona Sabagnano are absent at this moment.
Thank you very much. Will you please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Clerk, will you please provide announcements for this evening's meeting?
The county fosters public engagement during the meeting and encourages public participation, civility, and the use of courteous language. The Commission does not condone the use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, or other inappropriate behavior, including personal attacks or threats directed toward any meeting participant. Seating may be limited and available on a first-come, first-served basis. To make an in-person public comment, please complete and submit a speaker request form to the clerk. Each individual will be invited to the podium to make a comment. Members of the public may send a written comment, which is distributed to commission members and filed in the record. Contact information is optional and should include the meeting date and agenda off-agenda item number to be sent as follows. Email a comment to boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Mail a comment to 700 H Street, Suite 2450, Sacramento, California, 95814. And that concludes the announcement.
Thank you very much. That moves us to number one item under non-contested portion of our agenda. Clerk, will you please call?
Item number 1 is PLMP 2025-00095, a certificate of non-conforming use to the Planning Commission. This property is located on the southwest side of the intersection of Antelope Road and Roseville Road in the Foothill Farms community, and the environmental document is a notice of exemption.
All right, and this is a non-contested item. Is there a desire for staff presentation? No? All right. Is the applicant here? Would you like to provide any remarks?
Yes, I'll keep it brief. My name is Chris Powell. I'm here on behalf of Public Storage, and this is the last of several sites that they had a minor goof up where they failed to pay the business license fee a couple years, and it resulted in, under the county code, a need to obtain a non-conforming use certificate to reestablish the use under the county code. So we've been working with county staff to go through that process, which leads us to here today. We've gone through the process and complied with the application procedures. Staff has been very, very nice to work with and cooperative. So we respectfully request that the Planning Commission vote to approve the non-conforming use certificate for this site.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant? No? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll open it up for any testimony, if there's any testimony. Not seeing any.
We have not received any public comments for item number 1.
All right, thank you very much, Clerk. Then we'll kick it back to the dais for any comments or thoughts. Not seeing any.
I go ahead and move the motion.
We have one motion.
I'll second.
And we have a second. Clerk, will you please call the roll? Oh, there we go.
And that item does pass with all members present voting yes, and let the record reflect that Member Borja is present.
Thank you very much. I was just going to ask you to recognize our Vice Chair. Welcome.
And can I confirm who the first and second was? First, second, thank you.
All right. That moves us to item number 2 under our contested portion of our agenda. Clerk, will you please call out item number 2?
Item number 2 is PLMP 2023-00251, a community plan amendment, rezone, large lot tentative subdivision map, small lot tentative subdivision map, special development permit, and design review. And this property is located at 9132, 9168, and 9188 Gerber Road, and 7767 and 7769 Florenza Lane in the Vineyard community, and the environmental document is an addendum.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. It looks like we have staff presentation. Please proceed.
And Metro is loading that for us.
Sorry. All right. Good evening, Commissioners, Chair Conklin. My name is Emma Carrico. I'm an Associate Planner and Project Manager for the Gerber South Subdivision Project. The project site consists of 5 parcels ranging in size from 1 acre to 38 acres, totaling 77.6 acres, located south of Gerber Road and east of the private Florencia Lane in the Vineyard community. 4 of the existing parcels are developed with single-family residences, and 1 parcel is undeveloped. All are predominantly characterized by non-native grassland with sparse non-native trees. The project site is currently zoned Agricultural Residential 10. It is located within the Florin Vineyard Community Plan area, which designates it for residential 3 to 5 land use. Surrounding existing uses include agricultural residential, single-family residential, and open space. For this project, the applicant requests a community plan amendment, rezone, large lot tentative subdivision map, small lot tentative subdivision map, special development permit, and design review. And I'll cover the specifics of each of these entitlements in more detail in the following slides. When the Florin Vineyard Community Plan was adopted in December of 2010, the Board of Supervisors certified an Environmental Impact Report, or EIR, in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. For the current request, an addendum to the previous EIR was prepared. The addendum concluded that no substantial changes are proposed which would require major revisions to the previous EIR. No substantial changes have occurred with respect to the circumstances under which the project is undertaken. There's no new information of substantial importance which was not known and could not have been known with the exercise of due diligence at the time the EIR was certified, and only minor technical changes or additions are necessary in order to deem the adopted EIR adequate. Here you can see the proposed amendment to the Florin Vineyard Community Plan. As mentioned, the plan currently designates all 77.6 acres of the site as residential 3 to 5. And you can see that on the left there, that RD 3 to 5. The applicant requests to amend the community plan land use designations to 55.4 acres of residential 5 to 7, 16.4 acres of residential 7 to 12, and 5.8 acres of open space. The community plan amendment also includes an amendment to the Green Streets Framework Plan, which would change the originally designated Parkway 2 section from the private Florencia Lane on the west border of the project there to a section of the proposed A Drive here. Here you see the proposed rezone. The entire site is currently zoned Agricultural Residential 10, and the applicant is proposing to rezone to 55.4 acres of Residential 7, 16.4 acres of Residential 10, and 5.8 acres of recreation. The new zoning designations and community plan land use designations would allow the subdivision to be developed as proposed while keeping the general plan, community plan, and zoning ordinance vertically consistent with one another. Here you see the proposed small lot tentative subdivision map, which would create 370 single-family residential lots, one 10.2 acre elementary school site shown in light blue, one 5.4 acre park site shown in that bright green there, 2 greenway lots, 3 drainage lots, 2 low-impact development lots, and 4 landscape lots. The single-family residential lots fall into 2 categories. The north-central portion of the subdivision, shown in darker yellow, consists of 161 RD10 zoned lots. These lots would be 10% smaller than the standard RD10 lot and would feature reduced setbacks and vehicular access from the rear via private alleys. The rest of the subdivision, these surrounding lots in lighter yellow, would consist of 209 standard RD7 lots. The low-impact development and drainage lots are generally sited to connect with each other and the park site and to provide a buffer for the existing larger agricultural residential lots to the east. Primary pedestrian pathways are provided along Gerber Road, so up at the north boundary you can see those skinny greenway parcels, and A Drive coming down in that Parkway 2 section, and then on B Drive along the frontage of the park and school sites there. These would be provided via 25-foot wide landscape corridors containing 6 to 10-foot sidewalks within them. However, all streets would contain sidewalks in their ultimate condition. Primary vehicular access would be provided via A Drive. A signalized intersection with pedestrian crossing would be constructed on Gerber Road at the intersection of A Drive and Pasalis Lane. Here you can see the conceptual building envelopes for the residential parcels. The applicant is requesting a special development permit to allow a reduced lot size for the RD10 lots, as well as reduced setbacks for both the RD7 and RD10 lots. These conceptual building envelope exhibits were provided to demonstrate that the lots are sufficient to support a single-family housing product, even with the requested deviations. The exhibit also provides a better view of the private alleyway concept for the RD10 lots on the right there. So you can see these RD10 lots, they would not have driveways in the front yards. All vehicular access would come from behind in that private alleyway.
We'll have opportunities for public comment. Yeah, we'll have a moment. Okay, thank you. Let's not interrupt the presentation. Thank you.
The project was considered by both the Design Review Advisory Committee and the Vineyard Community Planning Advisory Council. The DRAC met on August 8th, 2024, and recommends the board find the project in substantial compliance with the design guidelines. The Vineyard CPAC met on October 10th, 2024. No formal recommendation was made due to a lack of quorum, but members generally expressed support for the project. Additionally, at about 4:30 today, the board did receive a public comment related to this project, although the comments, the substance of the comments appear to be regarding the Westfold 1 project, which is a pending project to the west. So none of the comments received, although submitted for this project, appear to be actually about this project. Overall, the project is consistent with the general plan, the Florin Vineyard Community Plan as amended, and the zoning ordinance as amended and with the deviations proposed. The project also complies with all required findings for the requested entitlements. So with that, Planning and Environmental Review staff recommends the Planning Commission make the following recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. Determine that some changes or additions to the previously adopted EIR were necessary, but none of the conditions described in the CEQA Guidelines Section 15162, calling for preparation of a subsequent EIR, have occurred. Determine that the CEQA addendum is adequate and complete. Adopt the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program. Approve a resolution amending the Florin Vineyard Community Plan. Adopt an ordinance authorizing a rezone. Approve the large lot tentative subdivision map subject to findings and conditions. Approve the small lot tentative subdivision map. Approve the special development permit. And find the project in substantial compliance with the design guidelines. That concludes my presentation. The applicant is here, and we're happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Before we kick it over for members of the commission to ask any questions, just wanted to recognize that Commissioner Savignano is present.
I have noted that and updated my notes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with a full attendance, we'll open it up for any questions for staff from the members of the dais. No?
I'll start off, Chair, if you don't
Yes,
mind.
please, Vice Chair.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carrico and the team for working hard on this presentation. Could you please go back on the slide that has all of the subdivision maps, particularly showing Gerber Road? I live close to this community, and Supervisor Hume and a number of community leaders there have already worked very hard to get an elementary school site finally approved by the Elk Grove Unified School District that would take Sierra Enterprise Elementary to the next to the Don and Brenda Park, which would be adjacent north to the Vineyard neighborhood. While we understand that there's a school site that is proposed here, more than likely the students that would be living in this community would have to cross north of Gerber Road to get it to the Vineyard community at 10, because the Joseph Fayette Elementary School is severely impacted south of their maps, regardless of what the Elk Grove Unified School District maps are going to be in a few years. I was wondering if you could show us, like, what are the plans to allow for a safe crossing for those students, especially that Elk Grove has made a strong emphasis for walking and biking to school?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So as previously mentioned, all streets proposed within the subdivision would have sidewalks in their ultimate condition. As you get further north towards the major Gerber Road, you do hit that Parkway 2 section, which has those 25-foot landscape corridors with the sidewalks contained within them, and then those also go along Gerber Road there. Of course, as you mentioned, you're concerned about the crossing of Gerber Road to the north. The project is conditioned to provide a signalized intersection at that Gerber Road, A Drive, Pasalis Lane crossing. And it's actually anticipated that the Department of Transportation may be spearheading the construction of that signal, likely in early 2027, which the applicant has indicated would align with the construction of the subdivision. So that fully stop-lighted pedestrian crossing, protected signalized intersection with cameras and the whole works would exist about the same time as the subdivision was under construction.
Okay. So that would be at A Drive crossing Pasalis Lane.
Yes, so that A Drive, the new creation of A Drive, Pasalis Lane is, I know you can't really see it on this map, but Pasalis Lane is right across to the north, and so that four-way stop would be signalized, allowing for pedestrian crossing directly from A Drive to Pasalis Lane.
Is that are those the stoplights with the blinkers, so that if
No, this
somebody
would be
presses?
yes, for pedestrians, yes,
Yeah.
but then for cars, obviously a fully signalized red, green, yellow stoplight.
Got it. Understood. Thank you. For this project, what kind of involvement did the DOT or Department of Transportation have to look at the traffic and kind of vehicle throughput on Gerber Road?
Yeah, so DOT did look at the project in context of the Florin Vineyard Community Plan and its compliance with that circulation plan that was adopted back in 2010 with the community plan, and did find it to be in compliance with that. There were several triggers that came up because of the number of units. For example, adding that signalized intersection at the cross of A Drive and Pasalis. I believe there's an additional left turning lane into the project off of Gerber. And then they generally also look at connectivity to potential development to the east and west. In particular, we have a couple more subdivisions to the west that are pending right now, very much in the early design stages, but DOT is looking to, of course, have connection between those. And so their primary concerns were making sure that Gerber Road was a safe crossing and safe for drivers, as well as ensuring that we're not funneling traffic to the south, because it does dead end in sort of a wetland in the Churchill Downs area, and then connection between the various subdivisions in the area.
All right. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And then one other question, and I might have missed this on the staff analysis, but does this specific project pay into a kind of a transportation development fee schedule, very similar to like the North Vineyard Station? Does this pay into that? And what type of traffic improvements would the public eventually see once this project hit a certain threshold of units sold and built?
I'm not an expert on the fee scheme for the Floor and Vineyard Community Plan specifically, but I know that they do have a fee schedule that our special districts section does administer, and I believe it does include a traffic impact fee. And in talking with DOT about improvements specifically on Gerber, they have mentioned that the signalized intersection would be happening in early 2027, and otherwise the improvements on the frontage of Gerber throughout sort of the main section there in the region would continue to happen on a project by project basis along with the logical segments that the Floor and Vineyard Community Plan has designated. So pretty much status quo of like when we see a project come in, it triggers whatever improvement is required along Gerber, that's when it would be required. So yeah.
So yeah, this just to confirm, this project is included to that
Yes.
Vineyard Station. Okay, understood. I'm assuming then that would also include folks to pay into like the 50 TMA, for example, the Transportation Management Plan that is added on to the fees for newly built.
I'm not entirely sure what all of the fees included in the Floor and Vineyard Community Plan requirement is. That I wish I had special districts here, but they're the ones who administer those fees. So.
Okay. Where might I be able to find that information?
I could definitely connect you with special districts, and they would know for sure. And honestly, if I had a computer in front of me, I bet I could find it for you very quickly.
Awesome.
But yes, happy to follow up on that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions for staff? A quick question regarding the 5.5 acre park being proposed. Could you describe the dynamics involved with that? Are there any public facilities adjacent to it? Just kind of give us a better idea of what that would ultimately look like.
Absolutely. So there is, like you said, about 5.5 acres of a park site in that truly bright green that would be active recreation area that would be dedicated to the Southgate Recreation and Park District. And they have not assigned specific, they don't know if they're going to, what type of playground or if there's going to be a water sprayer or what there, but it's intended to be active recreation, a true park.
Okay.
And then just to the north of that is a low-impact development lot, and that is more, it will remain owned by the Department of Water Resources, and it's intended to be sort of like a drainage basin. It will be closed off from the public, so there won't be public access with a decorative fence. It'll still have a decorative fence that you can see through, and we try to avoid having truly closed off big open pits, but it won't be active recreation land accessible by the public. So southern portion, intended to be true park, northern portion, which will be closed off separately, low impact development drainage lot.
Okay, thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
One follow-up.
Yep.
Does that park space include potential sporting fields?
Those have not been identified specifically at this site. I believe that would be an option for Southgate, although this might be kind of a smallish site to have a bunch of sporting fields. The idea is that it would be used sort of cooperatively with the school site so that they would have some level of coordination. But because Southgate is literally at this point just looking at accepting that park site and knowing that it will be an active recreation site, they haven't identified specific facilities yet for that or programming.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions for staff? No? Thank you very much. At this time, we'll invite the applicant to come to the lectern.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Commissioners. Bruce Walters, Walters Land Planning, representing Bardis Land Development on this project tonight. I think Emma covered the project in her presentation very well. I don't have any additions. Couple comments. This has been a 2-year process, and it's been thoroughly analyzed and studied by county staff. In particular, the drainage process went through various iterations to come through the plan that you see tonight. Commissioner Bora, you asked about the park configuration. It was actually interesting because the school and the park shifted around quite a bit in the process, And in the end, it turned out to be a very dynamic SketchUp process with Southgate Park and Rec and Elk Grove Schools to come up with the current configuration. I think it was very productive, and we've come up with a nice arrangement for the school and park site. Let's see, I think there was a question about sports fields. At 5.3 acres, this would typically be a neighborhood park, which would typically include one sports field, either soccer field or baseball, and other things typically included would be some hard court, tennis, basketball, and then usually a tot lot, along with some picnic and shade structures. That's kind of the typical formula, if you will, for a neighborhood park, if that helps. There was a question about transportation fee and road impacts. This project pays a large traffic impact fee. I think it's on the category of 20 grand a lot that goes into a pooled funds. It used to be Sacramento County had these trigger projects where you build up to 5,000 units within the plan area, and then you had to stop and build X amount of projects. Well, that didn't work out too well because it became a race to the trigger, if you will. Now we have a condition of approval that provides a lot more flexibility, so that basically when the final map and the building permit fees come in, then those revenues, that assessment of what is needed for this project in terms of offset is decided by DOT at the time the project is constructed. So you have off-site improvements going in that specifically address immediate off-site traffic transportation needs rather than something based upon a study that was done 10 years ago. So I think the new tool that DOT has works very well, and we're a condition on that. So again, this project has been very well vetted. 164 conditions of approval. We think we're very well covered. The project is consistent with the general plan, community plan. Staff recommends approval. I think CPAC would have recommended approval if they could. I think the project is here tonight, ready for your recommendation. I'm here to answer any questions, and I would ask the opportunity to respond to any public comment at the end if possible.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Verga?
Your park, does it have a special assessment to provide the funding to maintain the park?
There is a park development fee, part of the community plan financing plan. To be honest, I don't recall the amount. I'm guessing it's in the 8 to 10 grand a lot category for park development. The project dedicates the land. The park development fee actually funds the construction.
And special assessments for parks fund the maintenance.
True. There is another condition requiring annexation to an assessment district. I think it's a landscape lighting assessment district for ongoing maintenance.
So, okay, so that basically you're tagging it onto an existing assessment for the park to maintain the
It's
park.
an existing district, yes, so we would annex into that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Sir, just a quick question, and thank you, Mr. Walters. When do you anticipate, it kind of a timeline-wise, assuming that if the board or the commission approves it, what are your next steps? And then when do you anticipate, lots being redrawn right now and sticks on the ground, and when the first house could potentially be sold?
Sure. Assuming approval by the end of this year by the county, the earliest possible would be to start the site grading and underground utilities spring and summer of 26. Assuming the first phase gets constructed that year, probably 27 for sticks up first home construction, and it's probably a 2, maybe 3-year construction phase through the project.
Understood. On the frontage road on Gerber, as you're constructing, I would imagine that your construction team will have some sort of a landing zone, or at least a space that would park their construction vehicles, or something to that matter. You know, like a staging area on Gerber, I would assume. Is that something that you work with DOT or county planning to say, hey, this is when we're going to be staging? I ask because right now a number of our folks in the neighborhood, they're bottlenecked with a larger construction that is a little bit northeast of your project, which is located on Bradshaw and Gerber, just catty corner for this project. And so I'm trying to kind of understand. Community members are going to be talking like next door, for example, and saying, hey, if this project gets approved, we're bottlenecked on Gerber. We make a left on Bradshaw, which is a little bit northeast of this project. We're also bottlenecked there because there's another large construction on Bradshaw and Gerber. So I'm just trying to ascertain, like, timing-wise, if that's something that you've coordinated with the county or DOT, just to make sure we're not inadvertently creating like a trap of different constructions that are happening. I mean, the growth that's happening, it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah. No, that's an incredibly good point. The timing of construction on one side or the other. I'm hoping the construction on the north side, and I saw it this weekend when I was driving by, hopefully that'll be done by probably at the best late 2026. For this project, but the signage and traffic control during construction is all permitted by the county and regulated. The exact timing, that's so flexible and hard to predict that I would leave it to the county and the staff to come up with a good solution on that.
All right, awesome, thank you. And just one last question. When would the folks anticipate the construction at the park for this area? Would that be after the whole community's kind of built? Or?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So we build the frontage, we grade the site, we provide utility stubs to the site. We basically tee it up for the park site to be developed, but it's actually Southgate Park and Rec District that does the development. Sometimes they can do it fairly quickly. A lot of it depends on their fee revenue in the development fee and ability to turnkey and develop it. But I really can't speak on behalf of Southgate and say how far out they would be in building the park site.
Understood. Thank you for your time, sir, and turn it back to you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Not seeing any other question. I just had a little question. I was hoping you might be able to just kind of help me understand. There's numerous requests to deviate from the development standards of setbacks. Just trying to, maybe you could shed a little light as to the rationale there.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. Little bit of history. When the community plan originally went through, it proposed a series of customized zoning standards for this plan area. North Vineyard Station across the street has it. The Vineyard Springs community plan to the east has it. And what it does is it basically caters to the more modern current housing trends in terms of garage setbacks, living space, porches, etc. The board chose at the time they approved the plan to not include that in the Florin Vineyard community plan. So we're basically left with the standard Sac County zoning, which applies countywide. So in this case, the compact alley lot product, as well as the RD7 product, in today's world, generally is driven by these home design methods that involve, for example, extending the living space and porch forward and setting the garage back so it de-emphasizes the garage, for example. Rear yard built on porches in the RD7 product is another example where it's a current trend, but it's not accommodated in the standard Sac County zoning standards. So what we're proposing with the special development permit is reductions mostly in front and rear yard setbacks to accommodate current housing product demands. and it's very much the same as what is existing in the approved Florin Vineyard community, the North Vineyard Station community plan immediately to the north.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful. All right, not seeing any other questions. I think that's it for now. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
At this point, we'll transition over to public testimony. And I know I have one form here. If anybody would like to speak on this item, please fill out a form in the back of the chamber so we can read out your name. At this point, we have Cyril Marshalls. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Oh, outstanding.
And I am going to read you an oath first.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Please raise your right hand and
Right hand, yes.
anyone who is wanting to speak on this item. If you wish to address the commission about this item, please raise your right hand and the appropriate response is I do. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give to this board is the truth, so help you God? If you do not swear, do you so affirm?
Yes, yes.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if it's true or not because it's a question. Okay. Truthful question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Normally, I don't introduce myself this way. My name is Cyril Marshall. I'm an assistant professor, now retired. Maybe it would sway you to think that I know something. Okay. I would like to ask the lady, I didn't get your name, sorry, to show me the map.
Yeah, I think
That
you had
it-
pointed to a part of the presentation.
Yeah, right. The one that the map that include Leland and Gerber. There's a big one before the one that you showed.
Yeah, I think we can pull that up.
Okay. Because I happen to have the house at the end of Leland, not before this one.
Okay.
I think if you go one or two more back in the slide.
A big plan.
Thank you.
The one that include Leland and Felicia and Gerber have many colors.
Oh, the very first slide, I believe.
Yeah. More detail on that. Yeah. The one that have the 3 line of Leland Street. One more.
That's okay. Okay. Can we advance the slide one?
Yeah. One more. Keep going.
That might be
I
it.
think she means the tentative subdivision map
Anyway,
slide.
what happened is I wasn't clear what would be in my backyard. Well, while you're searching, it seemed like I'm going to have 21 condo, or not condo, something. More? I should go.
That's, I mean,
We're getting there.
we've shown all the map slides.
I saw it at the Leland Avenue. Can you point it out from here then? Okay, you could tell me. My house is at the end of the street. I have 3.3 acres. And it looked like, you know, like the backland from the Sikh temple. It looked like you're going to have apartment building. Is that correct? Nothing? R21 or D221? 7 to 21? Okay. All right. That beside the point. The point I'd like to talk today is this.
Okay, maybe we can reset the clock since you're starting.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good. All right. My land is on the property that called third-class soil. It's mean they have hard pan, 1 feet and 3 feet. But we love trees, so my property has almost 100 trees. But because of the lousy land, Any year when we have heavy rain, the tree fell. We have eucalyptus tree on the back of the property that you're going to build houses. And in the past 35 years that we've been there, every so often 1 or 2 trees would fall into your property. What I was worried that if you have houses built next door, that's why I tried to figure out where is the house. Can you do something to make sure that I don't feel guilty that my tree fell into somebody's houses and killed them? That's my emotional plea. You could build. I know that the tree is big. I don't think that you could stop it from falling. But if you build something to break the fall, like a heavy concrete, let's say, before they hit somebody's bedroom, it hit this wall first. Okay, that's what my concern, the biggest one. And before I go on, I'd like to thank you. I really think that we really need houses in Sacramento. And I feel sorry that you did not build the first time, what they call starter home. You build like a happy high-end instead. But I really welcome that. Okay, number 2, I know that I'm going to be impacted by this. I don't mind because I think people have the right to live everywhere. But I would like to find out, is there any benefit that we could get it now that we have to suffer all the setback? For example, if you're going to have the sewer line, can we attach to you without being charged $20,000? Is that possible?
We'll certainly ask the applicant.
Okay. And that was the
And we're at 2 minutes.
yeah, I know,
All
I'm
right.
done.
All right.
I just want to make sure that this on the record.
Absolutely.
That I'm worried about my guilt. Someone will be killed because of my eucalyptus tree.
Understood.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have Timothy Salada.
I'm Timothy Slaughter.
Good evening.
I live at 7674 Florencia Lane. Now, this retention pond you have here, you see this is Gerber Road, right? That blue spot. This is a floodplain, you know that.
Yeah, we can't hear you unless you're by a microphone.
You're not on the record, so
Yeah.
none of it matters. So you got to stay up there and speak
Or
into
you
the
have to
mic.
speak in the mic.
Yeah, otherwise we can't hear you and won't be able to.
You know that's a floodplain.
Okay.
We live in a floodplain. We flood there every year. Every year I put pumps out there and I pump in the ditch, the water goes. But they say they're going to put up a wall for me that's going to stop that. So, okay, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that wall. But you talked about the traffic for the school on Gerber Road. Now you have Walmart down there at the end. You have 2 lanes north on Gerber. South on Gerber is 1 lane. The traffic's already a mess. I mean, it's a mess there. I wouldn't let my dog walk my dog across that road, more or less children. You need to widen Gerber Road first before you think about building. Is get Gerber Road at least 2 lanes, or maybe even 3 lanes with all these people. You're gonna have a lot of people. I don't care if they build. It's like, at least open it up, make it safe. Because people race up and down there all the time. When I'm turning into Florencia, they try to pass me. And they just don't care, you know what I mean? So that's a really mess right there. For people picking up kids, it's gonna be a mess, because mothers and fathers drop their kids off, you know? I don't have a problem with them building it. It'll probably be a nice thing. I worry about the retention pond for children, you know what I mean? I wish they had some kind of other drainage than that, you know what I mean, to pump it out to a drainage station or somewhere, you know, because I wouldn't want any kids by that pond because you get a lot of water. I can show you pictures on my phone. If you want to see the pictures, I can send my phone up there. You can see how much water we get. We get tons of water. I put that at the CPAC meeting. I showed them pictures. They have pictures. A lot of water. So that's about all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Are there any other individuals from the public that would wish to talk on this agenda item? No? All right. Clerk, any online? No? Okay. We'll kick it back to the applicant to respond. And is it just me, or do I hear music? Okay.
Sounds close.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, thank you for the opportunity to respond. Let's see, the Marshall property, if I can illustrate, I don't have the pointer, but on the lower right, there's that little carve-out piece. I call it the Napots, not a part of this subdivision. Their property is immediately to the west of that. Most of their frontage is covered by the detention basin down in the lower left corner, I'm sorry. And the one lot at the end of the cul-de-sac, I think, is the only lot fronting. Just taking a quick look at the aerial.
Can you stop for 1 minute?
Okay.
I apologize. Whoever's phone is on, if you could please silence it, greatly appreciate it. Sorry. Please continue.
Where should I start up?
Where you left off.
Okay, so the Marshall property, the one lot at the end of the cul-de-sac is the only frontage next to them. And taking a quick look at the aerial, there is probably 20, 30 foot of separation between any of the Marshall property trees. We can certainly work during construction to ensure, work with the property owner to attempt any pruning that may be necessary for safety purposes. Attaching to sewer, I think the only opportunity might be extending it from the end of that cul-de-sac. That would be a improvement plan level discussion with the county to see. That opens up a lot of other policy issues for public utility service in the ag-res area. It's certainly a possibility, but I can't commit to what the true viability of that is. Let's see, Mr. Sullivan mentioned flooding. This is an incredibly flat area in its natural condition, and yes, it sheet flows and it traverses property lines. In the built condition, the on-site drainage will be picked up in pipes, go into the detention basins, go into the channel, the on-site channel, as well as follow a off-site channel to the west. And so as far as the on-site drainage is concerned, it's more than adequately accommodated for. The surrounding properties, yes, they are flat, they are ag-res, they will continue to sheet flow in a general behavior pattern, but will not be part of this project. And mention about ponds and children. I think Emma mentioned that there will be a perimeter open steel fencing for both the detention basin and the channel to ensure that it's secure and safe from the general public. Those are my responses.
All right, thank you very much. Any follow-up questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, we'll kick it back to the dais. Who wants to kick it off?
I'd be happy to move the staff recommendation. Just a couple of pointers, though. Mr. Bruce, I appreciate it, and for public transparency, I did meet with the applicant this morning, and I also emailed staff prior to the hearing. I would encourage the applicant team to maybe reach out to the members of the public that spoke today. Perhaps we are able to, I'm sorry, I was trying my best to follow on the maps where they're pointing out. I wasn't able to get there, but hopefully in the spirit of community building, you're able to at least speak to the public speakers and further explain to them what you intend to do. And I do hope that, we can just work with the county, DOT. There's a lot of development that's happening in the Vineyard neighborhood, specifically in Bradshaw. I mean, we're really cutting into the Wild Hog plans. There's just a number of really exciting development that's happening. It's just we're unfortunately creating a bottleneck on a lot of the local neighborhoods and a lot of the folks that commute from Elk Grove all the way to the 50 and to the 99 as well. But aside from that, I think the applicant made made every effort to at least address the questions, and at least the public can rest assured that there's a number of conditions attached to the project that would make it so that the project is accountable for not only public safety, but to support them on schools, parks, and everything else in connecting with the utilities. So I feel comfortable moving the project forward at this time.
Okay. So we have a motion by Vice Chair Commissioner Borjas. Any other comments? All right. Any other comments? No? All right. Well, we have a motion by Commissioner Borjas. We have a second by Commissioner Virga. Clerk?
And that item does pass with all members present voting yes.
Thank you very much. All right, we're moving on to agenda item number 3 on our item number 3 on our agenda. Clerk, will you please call?
Item number 3 is PLMP 2024-00081. That is a community plan amendment, rezone, tentative subdivision map, special development permit, exception, and design review. The property is located at 6702 Filbert Avenue, approximately 657 feet north of the intersection of Central Avenue and Filbert Avenue in the Orangevale community, and the environmental document is a notice of exemption.
Thank you very much, Clerk. Staff, are you ready to present?
Yeah. Good evening, Chair Conkling, Planning Commissioners. My name is Christian Baltazar. I'm an Associate Planner with Planning Environmental Review and Lead Planner for the 6702 Filbert Avenue subdivision. Just wait a second for the PowerPoint to get pulled
Metro
up
is loading that now.
Thank you. Thank you. So the subject site is located at 6702 Filbert Avenue in the Orangevale community. The site consists of a 10-acre parcel that is currently vacant. However, records do indicate that the site was previously an orchard. The site is currently accessed from the west through Filbert Avenue, and surrounding uses are single-family homes in all directions, zoned either AR1, AR2, or RD3. The subject site has a general plan land use designation of agricultural residential, as well as a community plan designation and zoning of agricultural residential 2 acres, that's AR2. The project site is directly adjacent to AR2 zone properties to the north and west, and RD3 properties to the south, as well as a mixture of RD3 and AR1 to the east. However, as you can see by the zoning map on the far right side of your screen there, a majority of the properties in the surrounding area are zoned either AR1 or RD2. The entitlements being requested for this project consist of a community plan amendment, a rezone, a tentative subdivision map, a special development permit to deviate from public street standards, an exemption from title section 22.24.63 to allow the proposed project lots to be served by a mutual water company, as well as a design review to determine substantial compliance with countywide design guidelines. On screen now, we have the community plan amendment and rezone exhibit. As previously mentioned, the applicant is requesting a community plan amendment and a rezone, and that would be to change the existing AR2 land use designation and zoning to the proposed AR1 land use designation and zoning. The community plan amendment and rezone would be for the entirety of the 10-acre lot. Here we have the proposed tentative subdivision map, and that's looking to divide the 10-acre parcel into 10 residential lots, which would result in 10 one-acre lots. All lots, with exception of lot 6, are proposed to be accessed from a private drive ending in a cul-de-sac, and that's shown on the center of the screen here. This is the request that is being asked for under the special development permit. In AR1 zoning, up to 4 lots may be served by a private drive. However, in this case, the project is proposing 9 lots to be served by that private road. Additionally, lot 6 would take access from a new cul-de-sac that's proposed to complete existing public road, and that's Crown Street near the southeast corner of the parcel. And that's depicted right down here towards the bottom. The exception that's being requested to deviate from section 22.24.630 of the Sacramento County Code for public water and sewer requirements. So this section states that water purveyor shall not be a homeowners association, a mutual water company, or a corporation. Sacramento County records indicate that this parcel would be served by the Orangeville Water Company, which is considered a mutual water company or corporation. The public water and sewer requirements are part of the county code to ensure new developments do not have issues accessing both water and sewer connections. The project will be serviced by the Sacramento Area Sewer District, and the Orangeville Water Company has provided the applicant with a will serve letter indicating that they do have the capacity to serve the new proposed lots. This will serve letter is attached to your hearing packets as attachment number 7. The proposed project was also reviewed by the Design Review Advisory Committee, or DRAC, on October 17th of last year. DRAC members stated that the site is relatively flat and did not see an issue with the proposed development, given that both the lot sizing and layout are consistent with the surrounding area. Therefore, DRAC members recommended that the board find the project in substantial compliance with design guidelines. Additionally, the project was also reviewed by the Orangeville Community Planning Advisory Council, or CPAC, and that occurred on October 1st of last year. A total of 17 members of the public spoke during the public comment portion for this item. 3 members of the public were in support, and 14 members were in opposition. Those in support of the project stated that the abandoned orchard does not contribute to the neighborhood, that the proposed AR1 zoning and 1-acre lots is respectful to the neighborhood and consistent with surrounding parcel sizes, and there was a general appreciation to the proposed drainage improvements. Those in opposition to the project stated an overall desire to maintain the AR2 zoning of the property, and there were concerns about increased traffic, safety of those traveling the area, loss of wildlife, flooding and draining impacts, as well as introduction of modern architecture to the area as well. CPAC members explained that their biggest concern was the change from AR2 to AR1 zoning. It was also shared that their preference was that the site remained in the AR2 designation of the property instead of 1-acre lots, given that the actual buildable area of the 1-acre lots is less than 1 acre, given the setback requirements, detention ponds, and street improvements that are imposed on the project. With that, following deliberation, the CPAC recommended that the Board of Supervisors deny the requested entitlements, and that was a unanimous vote. Following staff review, it was determined that the proposed project is consistent with the general plan, the community plan, and the zoning code as conditioned. The project is compatible with surrounding zoning, land uses, and would also be generating new housing opportunities. The environmental document concludes that there are no significant environmental concerns through the prepared notice of exemption, and the project was supported by DRAC. Planning Environmental Review staff recommends the Planning Commission make the following recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. Recognize the project is exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15183A, Public Resources Code Section 21083.3. Adopt the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program. Approve a resolution authorizing an amendment to the Orangeville Community Plan Land Use Designation. Approve an ordinance authorizing a rezone. Approve a tentative subdivision map. Approve a special development permit, and approve an exemption to Title 22.24.63, all subject to findings and conditions, as well as find the project in substantial compliance with design guidelines, again, subject to those findings and conditions. With that, I'll conclude my presentation. I do believe we have the applicant team in person to answer any questions, and I am also available to answer any follow-up questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff?
Just, you talked about the CPAC voting to recommend denying the project. You said something about 15 people on voting. So can you kind of give me more of an idea what the actual reason for the denial was, other than just they didn't want the property to change to residential?
That was their main basis behind the recommendation. They felt that the biggest impacts to the project would have resulted from the rezone from AR2, from the AR2 currently present to AR1. But to clarify, there were 17 members of the public, 3 in favor and 14 in opposition.
And the opposition was basically going from 2 to 1, not the housing, but the 2 to 1.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? No? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll invite the applicant or a representative of the applicant to provide some remarks. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
We're doing very well.
Good evening, County Planning Commissioners. I'm here representing Mikhail Kolyatic on his proposal project at 6702 Filbert Avenue, a 10-lot subdivision on 10 acres, with each lot approximately 1 acre. This plan keeps the semi-rural character of Orangevale intact while bringing a long-standing piece of land back into responsible use. Just want to give a little bit of historical context of the land. The Tomich family owned and operated the orchard on this site for more than a century, serving Orangevale as a family farm. In 2017, the family announced they were closing the operation after over 100 years, and a community group purchased the property in 2018 with hopes of keeping it active as a local orchard, but financial and operational challenges made that difficult to sustain. Since 2023, the property has remained vacant and unused, no longer functioning as a productive farmland. This proposal represents a measured reuse of the site, maintaining its open agricultural residential feel while giving it a purpose again. Some of the goals of the project, just want to reiterate some of the pieces. The property is currently zoned as agricultural residential 2, which allows 1 home per 2 acres. The proposal requests agricultural residential 1, allowing 1 home per acre. Still a low density rural layout consistent with surrounding neighborhoods and private roads around the area. A good portion of nearby parcels along Filbert and Crown are already AR-1 with lots from 1 acre each. This is not a suburban zoning. It's a continuation of Orangevale's 1 acre home pattern and the Orangevale Community Plan, which was created in 1976, 49 years ago. Doubled my age, around, I'm 25, so. Just want to also communicate about the environmental review. County staff and design review teams confirmed there are no unique site-specific environmental impacts that require additional study. In the EIR, we also want to highlight the preliminary grading and drainage plan was reviewed to ensure proper stormwater control and to prevent runoff or erosion. And any tree removal will comply with the county's tree preservation and replacement ordinance. This compliant, low-impact infill project that meets all county environmental standards. With traffic and safety, all access will come directly from Filbert Avenue onto a private road, and then the project will also extend Crown Street to Class B standard, including proper paving, drainage, and a cul-de-sac for safe turnaround and emergency access. With only 10 homes, traffic increase will be minimal, well within county thresholds for AR1 zoning. Mikhail and the project team have worked closely with county staff to ensure this proposal meets all safety, drainage, and design requirements. We've taken steps to ensure this project adds value without changing what makes Orangevale special. This is about responsible growth, keeping Orangevale strong, preserving its rural identity, and giving new life to property that's been part of the community. Thank you for your time and consideration. This is a straightforward project and increases housing in Sacramento County. Should you have any questions regarding the project, I will direct it to the engineer or our client.
Thank you very much. Any questions for our self-described young applicant or representative of a young applicant?
Maybe for the record, can we get his name?
Absolutely.
Michael Beller. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Mr. Bauer, thank you so much for your presentation. I appreciate it. Can you let us know what kind of outreach and community engagement that you guys did for the community? It's hard for us to overturn a CPAC and 3 folks for the project and 14 against. What kind of conversations did you guys have with the community to kind of alleviate some of their concerns during this development of your project?
Yeah, well, I know back in 2024 there was a petition. So there was petitions towards Crown Street. So they had multiple properties in that area that said they were approved of the project for AR-2 to AR-1. And then also we did reach out to the planning commissioners today to let them know about the project.
Okay, thank you.
Any other? No? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, we'll open it up to the public. I have two forms from the public that wish to speak. If you would like to add your name to the list, please fill out a form in the back. At this point, we'll start with Tracy Stark, and then next on deck would be Carol Shoemaker.
Chair, I wanted to make sure I was a little unclear in my first reading of the oath, so please state "I do" once you get to the podium to give your public comment that you did hear the oath.
Thank you very much, Clerk.
I do not think I was here for that, so.
Oh, we'll re-administer.
Please raise your right hand, and the appropriate response is "I do" if you do swear the testimony that you are about to give to this board is the truth, so help you God. If you do not swear, do you so affirm?
I do.
Thank you very much.
And your name?
My name's Tracy Stork.
Thank you.
I am just here representing the property at 6721. I live there with my parents and my nephew that we're all raising together. I just want to read a letter that my dad has emailed. Not sure if everybody's seen it or not, but I just want to make sure we're heard, okay? So we live adjacent to 6702 Filbert Avenue, Orangevale, California. I'm writing to oppose the rezoning request submitted by JTS Engineering Consultants for property owner Mikhail Kolidich, which would reduce the minimum lot size from 2 acres to 1 acre. This proposal may sound minor, but in reality, it would at a minimum double the potential housing density on that property, and with it bring numerous impacts to our roads, services, and community character. The potential addition of ADUs could increase the residential density up to 400% of what the property is now zoned. More homes mean greater demand on law enforcement and fire protection. Sacramento County Sheriff's Department already faces staffing shortages, and adding more residents in this area will only stretch those limited resources further, increasing response times. For fire services, smaller lots mean homes closer together, which heightens fire risks and complicates access. Local schools in the San Juan Unified School District are already near capacity. Higher density means more students, leading to the overcrowding, more portable classrooms, and potential redistricting, all of which impact the quality of education for existing families. 1 acre versus 2 acre development increases the amount of pavement and roofs, creating more stormwater runoff. That means less natural absorption, more flooding potential, and more erosion. And I see I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go to the back real quick and just say, this is not an anti-growth message. The property is zoned to allow 5 residential houses. Let them build 5, not 10 houses, as the zoning was and is intended.
Thank you
And
very
I'll
much.
stop so I don't go over.
Thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Next, we have Carol Shoemaker.
Guys need a handrail down the middle. And I'm not
Duly
getting
noted.
old, it's just an old body. My name's Carol Shoemaker. I've lived at 6711 Filbert Avenue, directly across the road from proposed rezoning and 10 houses for 51 years. I purchased my home and property for the rural lifestyle, too much of which is being changed by many subdivisions. Since the death of Tom Tomich, we have seen many changes to the orchard. Tons of tree waste being dumped by tree services, which initially holds water, but over time decomposes and becomes compost to raise the elevation and increase drainage down to Filbert Avenue and all the properties on the west side of the road. Most of the drainage now goes over the road. The culvert appears to be mostly collapsed. The water comes up my driveway, undermining my pavement, floods my north neighbor's pasture up to his house, and then crosses the Rousseau property, which is not the intent of that drainage. There are proper drainages out there. The current owner has dumped a minimum of 27 dump trucks of dirt throughout the property. He has also continued to allow tree service to dump tree waste for a while. He has blocked most of the drainage from the flow across Ox property, which flooded last winter. He has continued illegally to burn the orchard trees. After many incidents with the fire department and the fire marshal, he has continued to burn trees at night in large holes. So we can't see the fire, but mostly can smell it all night and most of the next day. He is still burning at night. What makes you think he will follow any of your rules? To allow 10 houses, which could easily be 20 with ADUs, on 9.8 acres would almost eliminate any bare ground for water to be absorbed, plus the additional water that drains from the southeast area.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question of the gentleman that just spoke?
You can ask a question. And
was there a second CPAC meeting? Because the meeting that they're talking about in October, is my understanding, was the only meeting. And we never talked about C1 or anything else. We had the vote that night.
Okay, we'll have staff respond to that. Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public that wish to speak? No? All right. At this point, we'll invite the applicant back or a representative of the applicant to respond to public comment.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Michael. So we did met with pretty much 30 neighbors around the neighborhood. And they was agree with that zoning change, and we have the letter. And forgot about how many we have. 25 or 30 people was signed. And regarding the fire. So we had permit from air quality, we had a permit for fire department, and everything was done legally. So the neighbor just spoke, it wasn't true, this was illegally, so I have a permit for that, and it was done all with the permits.
Okay.
So when I have Javed, he can respond with the storm drainage calculation.
Good evening, Commissioners. Javed Siddiqui, JTS Engineering, 1808 J Street, Sacramento. So our company prepared a drainage study, which is required by the county. And in that study, we have outlined what we need to do to solve the drainage problem. There is a drainage problem out there, but based on the study, we are mitigating it.
Okay.
I can answer more questions, if any.
Are there any questions from the dais for the applicant or owner?
I just have one general question. There's nothing in the documentation that talks about ADUs being added to these properties as part of your rezoning, right?
No, that is allowed under the code,
yeah.
But we don't know if they're going to have ADUs or not.
Okay.
We are providing public water and public sewer, and we've gotten letters from the utility districts to serve our property.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
And Commissioners, I can respond to the CPAC question.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. Thank
Great.
you.
So yeah, there was only one CPAC meeting for this project. They met on October 1st of 2024 and did recommend that the board deny the requested entitlements. And then also just to follow up on Javed's response. If a future property owner wanted to pursue an ADU, those are by right, so they would be allowed to do so.
That's on an individual basis, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
And I had a question to staff. There was comments made, or at least concerns expressed about an uptick in vehicular traffic. As I understand it, that the DOT estimated that the project would approximately generate 121 trips. I was wondering if you might be able to elaborate or kind of expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so DOT traffic does evaluate all discretionary entitlements that are being processed through planning to see what the projected trip generations would be, and there is a threshold to see if the proposed project would require a traffic study to be created in order to evaluate traffic for the site. That threshold is 1,000 new daily trips or 100 trips during AM and PM peak times. As you mentioned, the analysis was complete, and it did calculate that about 121 new daily trips would be generated from this proposal, and 9 AM peak trips and 11 PM peak trips. So both of those are well below the threshold needed in order to require a traffic study to be completed.
Okay, thank you very much. So just for my own edification, the threshold for the peak trips is 100 AM, PM, and there was a estimation of 9 trips during the AM and 11 trips for the PM, so that well below the 100 that would trigger the threshold. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? All right. We'll kick it back to commissioners to deliberate. Anyone want to kick this off?
Sure, I'm happy to start.
Thank you.
You know, I think change can be hard, but as we look at housing needs, it's never going to be a one-size-fits-all or a silver bullet, and I think every solutions are going to come in many forms and many shapes and many sizes, and I think this is a small but an example of a way that we can find a little bit of density and albeit a very, very mild form of density. 1 acre lots, I don't think anybody would really say is dense by any real measure of an urban form. But within this context, I think it is. And I think it does add to our housing base. And I'm happy to move the project.
All right, thank you very much. We have a motion by Commissioner Devlin. Any other comments or remarks? Oh.
Thank you, Chair. I just hope that the applicant continue the conversations that they have with the community members. I did see the 27 signatures that petitioned to support the project. I spot check and try to verify that those addresses were in the immediate neighborhood, and then also comparing the density maps that Mr. Balthazar had provided. I think it still kind of is in line with the community. I drove over there over the weekend, try to see and visualize how it would be, and I do encourage the applicant to keep those conversations going with the community members, especially for the ones that sent their opposition letters, and see if there's a potential to cure any of those concerns moving forward. But I'm happy to also support the project at this time.
All right, thank you very much. It sounds like we have a motion by Commissioner Devlin, a second by Commissioner Borjas. Clerk?
And that item does pass with all members voting yes.
All right, thank you very much. That brings us to I believe the planning director's report. I see our planning director is out, but our planning principal, Ms. Kimber Gutierrez, is available.
Yeah, our planning director is on vacation, taking a much-needed vacation.
Yep.
So, but no, I do not have any other updates for the commission.
All right, thank you very much. Clerk, any miscellaneous scheduling items to bring to our attention?
Nothing noteworthy. Our last meeting of this year is going to be December 8th, and that's the only one for December.
Okay. And then we'll move to item number 6. Any public comments for any items not on the agenda? Not seeing any. Then we are adjourned at 6:50 p.m.